Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines this morning. We got Bill Gates on NFTs, Coinbase, we got Celsius, we got Caitlin Long talking about USD coin. You're going to want to know about that. We got Russia for you this morning. We got central banks all over the place. We got Augustin Carstens from the BIS. And how about XRP liquidity pools? Are they starting to fill up? I think we see something here. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen, and on TikTok at Digital Perspectives No Spaces, and Facebook at Digital Perspectives News. Give us a follow on all three if you're there. We'd love to support great exclusive information on each of those locations on social media. Shout out to Britta for all the help that she provides as well. 5.2% as we're up on the market here, but we're still under $1 trillion market cap. We're way off from the $3 trillion plus for the crypto market space. Right now, Bitcoin is 20,700, Ethereum 1,100 plus now. XRP is at 32 cents. Cardano is at 50 cents, two for $1 this morning. Good morning. It is June 20th, 2022. Look at the range of price. We dipped all the way down into 29 cents while I was getting some shut-eye, or I'd have bought some, but I missed it. And I'm mad that I missed it, but that's okay. Still three for $1 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Blue light special on XRP this morning, not financial advice. Let's get started right here. Bill Gates says crypto and NFTs are based off the greater fool theory. If I could very quickly, okay? I know the first use cases for NFTs have appeared to be like a lot of these, art, pictures, designs, graphic designs, and things of that nature. It is not the only application of NFTs. I think there are already showing huge signs in the music industry what NFTs can do for music and intellectual property alike. And I think there's going to be a lot more in the way of use cases to come, as far as like the suggestions Brad Garlinghouse has talked about, NFTs as carbon credits and things of that nature. So look, I'm not the hugest fan of Bill Gates. That's being very polite this morning, but I would say, maybe in some respects you could see some of that in this current condition. But listen, let me tell you something. You guys know I'm a fan of Masterworks. Well, that's not NFTs. That is not NFTs. You're buying shares of some of the most incredible artwork on the planet, like the richest people have been doing for a very, very long time. And I don't mind. I want to share this with you. Think of this. Markets bad? Yes, markets are bad. Art good? Yes, because that's what rich people are doing. Jamie Dimon, just not long ago, I covered it here on the channel, called for an economic hurricane. All I'm doing, one of my core tenets, is stacking my pennies next to their dollars. Who are there? They are the richest people in the world, whether they're in the financing sector or some other place that's made them extremely wealthy. And now they invest in many different things like fine art as a hedge to inflation. So I tell you, there's a lot more to come on that, and I've got a lot more to say about it, but make sure you check out the link underneath of that. I know people are getting massive, massive returns on the last three paintings they had. If you had put $45,000 in on Masterworks very quickly, you would have made $60,000. Check out that link. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Right here, this is unbelievable too, but it isn't. Cardano, ADA, shout out to Charles Hoskinson, trending at number 1 and XRP at number 2. This does not surprise me either, because when the markets are in turmoil like this, I think the applications start to rise to the surface that really are solving problems. And we see that in the 1 and 2 spot. Now, to show that we do have trouble in the market, we know Coinbase's layoffs are showing growing callous side of crypto's plummet because, look, there are going to be in these emerging markets, there are going to be these watershed moments that take place. It doesn't mean that the tech is not good, but there are over 19,000 tokens in the crypto space. And if there's one thing I'm absolutely sure of, we could sit and argue all day about which ones have use case. But what I'm certain we could agree on is that there is not 19,000 plus use cases. So there are going to be a few more of these moments, certainly before we have clarity. And by the way, we know that the senators are saying, and Representative Patrick McHenry, we can get stablecoin legislation done by the end of this year, and that's critical. And I know people are like, yeah, but I can't invest in a stable coin and have it go up because it's pegged to $1. I understand that, but I'm going to touch something today before we get out of here that I believe will start to unlock, I believe, a lot of people to think of stablecoin and stablecoin legislation in a much different way that could set XRP free to do much larger cross-border payments. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Celsius froze withdrawals on its platform over debilitating liquidity crisis 1 week ago. Now the crypto lending network has said it needs more time to recover its financial position. You know, I think the term was gated that was used by Kevin O'Leary here. And think of this for a moment. Okay, now you have other lending platforms, and I'm not going to say their names because I'm not trying to hurt anyone here, that have not been targeted and had a liquidity crisis like Celsius did. But can you imagine the watershed moment that's happening on those platforms right now just because of what's happening to Celsius? And if you think about the gated term that was used by Kevin O'Leary, then you know that what he's suggesting here is that when they lift this freeze and allow access back to the platform and your accounts again, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to do a mad dash to do a bank run on DeFi shadow banking. That's exactly what we're talking about here, right? Looking here, and regulators are now probing Celsius over the account freezes. It's the SEC and other state security regulators are now reportedly investigating the Celsius lender and network on what exactly took place. Now, you know, what is it with the SEC being a day late and a dollar short and then not representing any of the 60,000, 67,000, 68,000 plus XRP holders and actually harming us? I tell you, that agency is lacking a lot of integrity. Now let's shift into this conversation. Caitlin Long says 500 million of fiat liquidity injected in just the past 2 hours. This is the second of two big prints in 2 hours this morning. She shares here the USD coin just printed $199 million plus dollars, and total circulating supply right now is $55,879,927,490 in circulating supply. Now, here's a big moment for me. One, we know USD coin is highly regulated. It is very, very compliant. We also know that they just announced recently that they're going to do the Euro stablecoin this month. There's only a few days left in this month. And they're going to launch a Euro stablecoin to match the USD coin, which are two of the most liquid dollar pools and pairings in the world. Now, I think this is very important. Before we get out of here, I believe I'm going to have something for you to think about. And let's talk about the catalyst of why that might be happening. We know Russia and Russia's bank, Serber Bank here, and I hope I'm saying it right, is set to begin trading digital financial assets known as DFAs on its in-house digital asset platform. The first transaction with digital financial assets will take place within a month, around mid-July. And we know Russia's Rostic Group is a government organization that includes a number of technology companies. They have announced they have developed a blockchain platform to launch a digital system for international payments capable of replacing SWIFT. And that's, think of that. The world is fractionalized forever from that moment forward. The day they start doing that, SWIFT does not and will not any longer have the power to sanction Russia in that respect. Here is another reinforcing tweet here from Watcher Guru. Says Russian government organizations create a blockchain platform of international payments to replace the current SWIFT system. This is not happening. This is happening. And it's going to create a fractionalized payment world that has to forevermore be dealt with. I just covered Friday Jerome Powell talking about rapid changes in the global monetary system that could affect the international role of the US dollar. I do not for a moment think that he is not referencing what is going on here. We see the Bank of Jamaica currently right now says cryptocurrency is not sufficiently stable to be a good means of payment. I totally understand that comment. It makes sense. And that's why everybody's pursuing stablecoins and CBDCs. And to add to that, Nigeria's AN IRA now available with USSD to boost the adoption and financial inclusion. And then we see this, Bangladesh Bank, central bank of the South Asian country, has revealed its plans to conduct feasibility study on the possibility of introducing a CBDC backed by blockchain tech. February 2020, Bangladesh with $4 billion in assets now employs RippleNet. Come on in, BondCrypt with that. This is huge, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger in the long run right here. It's UK's digital trade deal with Singapore is the world's most comprehensive, and that's just the beginning. Listen, the UK does an enormous amount of settling of derivatives and bonds and so many other things in the world. It is a huge hub for the world for settling products. Let's listen to this clip very quickly here.
This digital trade deal is the world's most comprehensive to date. And as you say,
this digital trade deal is the world's most comprehensive to date.
This digital trade deal is the world's most comprehensive to date. And as you say, with the first European partner to sign this kind of deal. In fact, it goes further than the digital measures in the CPTPP. And I hope sets the tone for the kinds of trading relationships that we want to have around the world, that recognizes the opportunities of the digital economy and how the economy is evolving.
Natalie, I believe you said in November that the UK's bid to join the CPTPP should be completed by the end of 2022. Does that time frame still stand?
It does. We are working incredibly hard to meet the high expectations of the CPTPP deal. And we're very grateful to all signatories who have been so supportive. But we take this opportunity really seriously. It's the heart of our trade strategy in this part of the world. And we are confident that we will be able to sign up by the end of next year.
I tell you, there's huge things coming from this. To have that worked out means that they've got everything figured out for clarity of what these things are and what the tax should be between these countries, not just in each one. That is a huge thing. Now let's move to this. Augustin Carstens reinforcing the notion that 90% of central banks are in advanced phase of developing central bank money. Take a look here.
We had recently here an event among emerging market central banks. 26 central banks came, and 90% of them are already working in a very advanced phase on central bank money. So I think that in general, to promote the additional digitation and even making CBDC a reality, we need to work very closely with the private sector. We need to invite different type of innovators, but there are some there is the centrality of central banks that is irreplaceable. And that's why it is so important to have central bank digital currencies in as a reality, hopefully relatively soon.
We have to work with private companies and innovators. You better believe they do, because banks are not innovators themselves. Now let's go into this, which I want to talk about. I played this last week. Shout out to DAI for the clip. I want you to listen to this. This is the Chief Payments Executive for FedNow and Federal Reserve Financial Services. Listen to what he says here from Consensus just a couple weeks ago. Listen.
So I'm the Chief Payment Executive for the Federal Reserve System, which means all of our payment systems, if you think about the last 100 articles you read about the Federal Reserve, they were probably about monetary policy or other things like that. They probably weren't about operations or payments, but that's my part of the business. And so everything from distribution and store inventories of currency, distributing that in this country and around the world, all the way through check clearing systems, the ACH, and FedWire real-time large dollar payments, and coming soon in 2023, our new instant payment solution called FedNow that's going to enable everybody here in the country to make instant payments to other consumers and businesses nationwide and have that settle instantly. So I'm the chief.
Now that's pretty remarkable, right? Now no one's suggesting that, FedNow dollar to dollar, bank between bank, is going to use XRP to bridge that. That's not what he's saying, I don't believe, and I certainly don't understand it that way. But I want you to look at Andersell, what he says here, and he says XRP to bridge different domestic real-time payment systems around the world, including FedNow. David Schwartz mentioning FedNow in a speech, the Interledger image down below, it should then be FedNow Instant ACH. FedWire comes later. Take a look at this. So there's definitely an opportunity here to bridge domestic real-time payment systems such as FedNow, the clearinghouse for USD. The trick is, for me, that's so interesting about all of this is that I think about the idea of how are you going to bridge all of this if it's paper money? You can't. It's got to be a stablecoin, at least, or a CBDC. And if it's a stablecoin, what stable coin will they be using for liquidity for that fast instant settlement? I think it'll be USD coin, backed by Jeremy Allaire, Circle, and Goldman Sachs. That's the coin I think it'll be. And if it is, then we look at this. Now look at this. From all the way back in the day, the Euro USD was too liquid for on-demand liquidity, they said. But look at this, a new production of on-demand liquidity corridor from Euro to USD. Plans of additional corridors in APAC, EMA, and LATAM are in progress for 2020. So this is the goal, I believe. This is the goal. And if you remember, users can now trade and move USD coin on the XRP ledger. If we look at this, what I'm getting from all of this is basically we're going to need liquidity pools that are much larger than we currently have for XRP to do larger cross-border transactions. If I understand all of this correctly, or at least to a degree of correctness, then I understand what I actually am witnessing here with FedNow and instant settlement, and what I believe is the unofficial, official U.S. digital dollar, the USD coin, and soon to be this month the Euro stable coin launched by the same damn company, is the filling of liquidity pools with these stable coins. If they're going to have instant settlement between each other, and we know dollar to dollar, they do not need to use a bridge like XRP, then what they're doing is filling the domestic liquidity pool with water and the stable coins so the banks can get very liquid on a domestic payment systems. Filling those pools allows access for XRP to be a bridge for the more international corridors and have access to that liquid stablecoin pool that is really filling up very, very quickly. Remember, USD coin has already done more than $3 trillion in transactions. Allowing the FedNow system to access the USD coin and have stablecoin legislation by the end of the year, as they're predicting from Congress, would open up for the banks, I would imagine, based on what Brian Brooks has put through back in the OCC in that particular time frame, allowing banks to use digital assets and this, that, and the other. Seems to me what we're doing here is filling up the domestic pools so we can absolutely switch to a bridge currency for payment for larger international cross-border settlement. This, if it is correct, is fascinating moment that we're in, because they're setting the stage to make XRP and possibly XLM bridge currencies for the world. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. That's where I'm at on this day. Hit that like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I'll catch you on the next one.